Hello, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome back! Welcome back to these lovely people and you lovely people as we return for Season 2. The first time we've had a Season 2 here on Phoenix Ueki, as we return for Season 2 of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. So, a massive welcome back to Soyala and Mame. I was with Toln in another guise over the summer, and our new friend here was also with us over the summer, so I've seen them every week. But it has been a long time for Soyala and Mame, and very happy to be back into this. Now, how are the levels? I need to double check that, sorry. How are we doing? I think we're okay. Check. Hello. Okay, now Discord is up and running. It is good to be back, Patch. Thank you. Yes, and a massive hello to you, those of you that already joined us there. Charlie and Rerishu and Patch. Absolutely great to have you here already. Thank you. And also, of course, all of you over there in the VOD squad, catching up with our adventures whenever you can. It's an absolute pleasure to have you along with us as well. Now, that said, let us say thank you to a couple of other people before we jump back into this adventure of ours. A massive thank you to our lovely artist, which I need to do this. I can't remember what it was. And what was the command? It's been such a long time. Yeah, I got it. Okay. The fantastic Emma over on Twitter there at Emma City Art. Do check her out. She does the fantastic art here for Rime of the Frostmaiden, and also for the fabulous Curse of Strahd art as well. Hey Alicia, how you doing? I think our... Yes. I thought that was slightly off. I wonder why all the emotes were just flying across the bottom corner of the screen. That's why the box is off. Okay. Let's get that sorted. There we go. Okay. Sorted. Right, yes, so a massive thank you to her, as she is busy feverishly drawing away to create the next fantastic piece of character art for Shadov here, as I know. From the tropics to the Arctic in a 10-day. Yes, he's going to get quite the shock to his system. Although there's been more time in the story world than there has been in the real world, Charlie. Don't worry. We will be catching up with just what's been going on there in a second. But let me also say a massive thank you to all of those wonderful sounds and things that you hear. Not only to the fabulous Sirenscape, a great source of sound effects and music for your games. Try them out for free. A 30-day free trial over at Sirenscape.com. And if you want to be a subscriber, you can get all of their fantastic sounds in your games as well, be they virtual or at the table. And also over on YouTube, do visit any of our VODs to get the links for the 3 channels that we love using: Dark Fantasy Studio, Travis Savoy, and Epic Journey. Let me just put that over there. There is our Twitter and YouTube there. Give them a follow to get all of that information. And there is one more link on those VODs. That is the fantastic Patreon of one Will Savino, a incredible creator of music for your RPG projects, and a recent person that I chatted with in his Discord, and someone who will be heading over here to play a one-shot with us at some point in the near future. I'm going to have to make special sound sets with just his music in. Oh, and speaking of creators that we love, who is that I see in chat? None other than CZRPG. Special welcome to you. I already played the trailer, sir. You missed it. Your favourite thing at the moment. Don't worry, there'll be another one at the end. CZRPG, ladies and gentlemen, is the creator of the campaign that we will be starting next month on Fridays. We cannot wait to dive into a whole new area away from the Sword Coast as we head towards the Sea of Fallen Stars and Chesenta for Chesenta's tyranny, as you saw in that teaser at the start. A massive welcome to you, CZ. Good to have you. All right, now let us get back into things here. I'm going to do a slightly broader recap because we are diving into Season 2 here, so let us quickly catch everything up going on here in a abbreviated form. Our adventurers here, 2 of them at least, started in Goodmead, where they found and hunted out the cold-hearted killer. And they dealt with that problem that was plaguing 10 towns. Then they, being the problem solvers they are, carried on to deal with a Verby kind of giant kin fella up in the mountains who'd been stealing goats, how dare he, and all sorts of other things, terrorizing the local people, killing hunters, woodsmen and the like, but they dealt with that problem as well. It was then that they headed up to Dugan's Hole, where our chicken folk there, Gallus Ranger Mame, had spent some time, and they were worried because they hadn't heard anything from up there for a while, and with good reason, it seemed, because a horrible monster, a monstrosity had come down from the Spine of the World mountains and was terrorizing the village there. They managed to deal with it and dispatch of the beast. And whilst they were there, they also checked out the interesting stone circle, ancient stone circle that was in the village there. And as they did, they were treated to a vision of a massive nature spirit called Thrun, who charged them with dealing with Oral, the Frostmaiden, who has plunged this whole region into darkness and eternal winter, and charged them with restoring the seasons to the region, as they were chosen ones who had been decided, the fated ones as they called it, to deal with this problem. Heading back to their base in Goodmead, and the lovely comforting buzz of all the little bees in the mead hall there, they carried on through and carried on to the larger town of Easthaven. As they arrived, they were treated to a rather alarming sight as a red wizard was being burnt at the stake for crimes that he had committed against locals and adventurers in the area. They were sent after that to look for some local fisherfolk that had disappeared, and they found the remains of them, and also, unfortunately, the remains of some of the colleagues from Luskan University of Mame here, who is not only a ranger but a college professor as well for the university. And we discovered they had unfortunately met a grisly end, as they had been investigating this frost giant burial site in these caves, unfortunately now the home of a rather nasty lake hag. A lake hag that also seemed to be responsible for the creation of their friend Mockingbird, and had a link with them, quite very literally a link with them, through the symbiote that was in their mind. They were outmatched and captured and forced to give up certain things in deals with the hag, and our friend Mame there was also treated with one of these symbiote type creatures, creating a psychic link between her, Mockingbird, and this hag. Now, let back out into the world as the hag's little birds, they travelled back to Easthaven, where they found out about some strange goings on in the town connected to a crystal substance called Shardolin, a terrible crystal that seems to have strange effects on people that it is in contact with. And they discovered that these underdark dwarves, the Duragar, had come up and were trying to steal this crystal for some purposes unknown. So they were looking into that. They also heard that the red wizard that was being burnt at the stake had taken away some of Mame's colleagues to a strange crash-landed tower in the middle of the ice off to the east towards the massive glacier that's out in that direction. And they vowed to go out there and save her colleagues as soon as they were able. This information coming from the drow guide Birel, played by our good friend Chris Junkies UK over there in chat. Good to see you, sir. And as they discovered these Duragar still in the city trying to steal this crystal, they were able to chase them down in a rather dramatic sledge chase and stop them making off with that crystal. But at what cost? As Quest Junkies UK's Burrell was killed in the street by these evil Underdark dwarves, the Duragar. Not all Duragar, of course. These particular ones are rather nasty. Anyway, they trying to just make sure I don't skip over anything here. They followed this trail of the Duragar back towards the mountains, up towards Caer Conig, and up in Caer Dineval and Caer Conig. On the way through Caer Dineval, in the castle there that looks over the whole village, they discovered something else that was plaguing the region, a cult of Levistus that had taken root in the town there, and a rather scary tiefling played by our friend Merrin. Hey Vicky, how you doing? And she was working with this cult and causing all kinds of troubles in the town there, but they managed to lead an uprising of the people, and they attacked the castle and overcame all the odds there, and helped and saved the servants and the staff that were being held in the basement down in the watery basements below. And then, I'm trying to remember everything, the tiefling managed to escape, being summoned by some mysterious figure named Strad? I don't know, it sounds nothing important, I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, as they had freed Caer Dineval, they carried on to Caer Conig, where they discovered things were missing, things were disappearing, and they followed the trail of these Duergar up to a massive fortress on the side of the mountain, Kelvin's Cairn, the biggest mountain in the region. And there, tucked away on the north side, where people dare not tread, they found a sizable Duergar fortress that had been constructed by these visitors from the Underdark. And investigating inside, they discovered that all was not well, and that a Shardarin crystal dragon was being created with which to attack the 10 towns, destroy the bastions of human civilization and other peoples that were there, and then to claim it for the Duergar for themselves. But they were having none of that, and with some help from another Duergar faction, the head of the Dark Lake Brewery down in Gracklstug, the Duergar capital of the Underdark, they were able to defeat those plans and defeat the evil Sunblight. It's usually the point that Sunblight appears. No, not today. Okay. Usually lurking there in chat until they are summoned. But that was when they also discovered during their talks and the various things going on in the fortress there, that their friend Tuln here, who they assumed to be some kind of robot, warforged kind of creature, was actually some kind of undead and had actually died and been brought back in this metallic form. But more on that later. They destroyed the dragon, saved the university colleagues of Mame, and met up with a were-polar bear who was in captivity here as well, and returned triumphant to Goodmead, their home base. And it was in Goodmead that they confronted the mysterious barman Darkinios about what they had discovered up at Sunblight Fortress. And Darkinios confessed that yes, Tuln, once a dwarf, had died in an avalanche, but had been saved and placed into this vessel, this metallic form, this first of its kind, warforged in our version of the Sword Coast and Faerun. And they revealed their secret laboratory here in the mead hall itself, complete with a brain in a jar and all the kinds of things that you would need. And they used some interesting metal that they had scavenged from the Verbeeg cave right from back at the start there, and they used it to upgrade Tuln's armor rather nicely. They soon discovered the source of that interesting metal because they followed a distress call that was calling out in Mockingbird and Mame's mind to their illithid implants that they have, their psionic implants that they had, and they discovered that the distress call was coming from a crashed spaceship, a strange organic looking thing with tentacles and rather unpleasant visceral kind of doorways that you had to make your way through. But deep inside there they found some very disturbing creatures, which they promptly adopted and wanted to take with them, of course. And welcome to D&D, folks. And the gnome squidlings that were in charge of this promised to remove the symbiotic creatures that they had in their minds in return for the retrieval of psi crystals that they need to psionically power their ship, that they may return to the so-called strange medium that is called the Phlogiston. They are level 6, Jolly. And they did that indeed. The symbiotes were removed, which allowed them... Hey, thanks. Which they allowed them to sneak up unknown on the lake hag back in the caves near East Haven. And with the advantage of surprise that they had, they snuck up on the lake hag and attacked. And combat was joined not only by the lake hag and her large frost giant skeleton friend, Harry, but also by Mockingbird. Mockingbird, their friend, had been taken away from them, lured by promises of power and other such rewards by Oral the Frostmaiden herself, becoming a warlock of Oral. And he turned on his own friends in return for this power and joined the fight against them. But even with Mockingbird's help, it was not enough. And although they were victorious, unfortunately, their friend Mockingbird was slain. And that is where we finished season 1 last time. I'm gonna have a quick drink here. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. Pretty much it. Alright, so let us quickly jump back in to our game here and catch up with these fine people. And here, who are they? Who are they playing? And where are they at right now as we return to Icewind Dale and Rime of the Frostmaiden? Mame, starting with you, please.
Hello, my name's Sabrina. I play Mame, a female Gallus Ranger, and right now it's Mame is saddened by the loss of her friend. And are we currently in Goodmead?
Not quite yet. No, we'll still be in the caves at the moment.
Okay. So basically, the loss of her friend. Glad that this hag is dead, and I just pet Slobber Chops and try to be calm at the moment.
Yes, everyone. Descent into Avernus maybe finished our 2-year campaign, finishing 2 weeks ago, but Slobberchops made his way all the way from Baldur's Gate in his little wings, and is here in Icewind Dale. Yes, the flying cat, also known as a Tressum, for the proper term there, is up here in Icewind Dale. And there is a story behind that, but only Slobberchops knows it. So, thank you very much, Mame. Moving on, Talm.
Hello, everyone. It's Josh again. This time I'm back with Talm. Talm is kind of, he's sad Mockingbird's dead, but he's glad that Mockingbird could go out in a kind of a way befitting him. A fight followed by poison. Seems fitting.
Yes. That's how he would have wanted it.
It's literally how he wanted to go out. I think it was his decision.
Yep.
So he's sad about that. Glad he could go out in the way he wanted. But Talm is quite anxious to get back to the lab and figure out what's going on and find out more about what's going on with him. Maybe make some beer.
The ale must flow. Moving on. Soyala, please.
Hello everyone, my name's Sarah, and I play Soyala, the Life Cleric Tabaxi, and I'm also quite distraught on our dear friend that we lost and sadly couldn't save. And also just thinking about our next movement, getting back the crystals, and our overall goal of trying to save 10 towns.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, a new face to Icewind Dale, but not to Phoenix Ueki, as they joined us for our summer campaign in the absence of Frostmaiden. New to D&D, but not new to us, as they were with us here in Iwaki once upon a time in Japan. Shadov, please.
Hi, my name is Chase. I am Shadov, Lorendrow Paladin of Vengeance. I was tasked by my cat god Bass to save a small island nation, I guess. Right the wrongs. I did that, and in the process, met an interesting little character in Waku. He's somewhere else now, but I also found a journal. I suspect it might belong to my sister, who's been missing for some years, and that's why I am in the frozen north.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Very, very well travelled. I think, Shadov, you and Waku travelled together as far as Candle Keep, but then Waku started babbling something about a warlock's crypt or something, and disembarked at Candle Keep and disappeared off into the
He never made a lot of
wilds.
sense,
Yeah, yeah.
but we're friends.
Nice fellow, yeah. Okay, with his new wings. Well on the way to Dragonhood.
I'd like to imagine that the boat wasn't going to stop at Candle Keep, and Wako was just like, "All right, gotta go. See ya." And flew the rest of the way.
Got about 5 feet and pitched into the water and swam. Yeah, takes some getting used to. All right, thank you. And I am John, and I'm everyone else. You know me. I'm here all the time. Okay. So, let us get into this things here. We're going to be slightly abstract at the start here. Not doing too much nitty gritty on getting you back to the home base of good meads that you love so well. So Yala, you mentioned securing some objects.
So yeah, of course, when we were in the cave, we grabbed those psi crystals.
Yes, indeed. Yes, you went back.
That was our main goal.
Yes, you went back to that strange chamber with the pillars and the stalagmites resting atop which were these psionic crystals that the hag used to spy on all of her little birds. None of you were tempted to try and find out any more little birds throughout Icewind Dale?
I don't know. Could we have even used them?
I don't think I can even use them anymore because the parasite's out of my net.
Yeah, because you got rid of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean,
you have to reconnect with Kestrel and the other little bird that you met, and try
That's true.
see if she can
Yeah.
help you find any more. There was a fair few of them out there from all reports. Anyway, okay, so yes, you gather up the psionic crystals that the illithid gnome squidlings had charged you with retrieving down south. Shadov, welcome to the game. All sorts of stuff going on up here. This is all stuff that's in the book, not stuff that we added. One of the all the players, spoilers for if you're going to play Icewind Dale around the Frostmaiden, but you're watching this, so I guess it's okay. One of every player gets a secret, which yours is kind of pre-arranged, with the sister thing and everything, Shadov. But every player gets a secret, and one of the secrets that you can get is that you were actually kidnapped by those gnome illithids, those gnome squidlings, and taken on their ship, and you arrived.
Great.
You arrived in Icewind Dale as they crashed, and your pod was just jettisoned. It's like, what? It's amazing. Anyway, that said, let us move on. So yes, you gather those crystals now. Tom.
Also,
Sorry, yes,
the plan was to set Mockingbird on a boat and probably burn the boat. I don't know. I'm not sure what past that was his dying wish. But I know a boat for burial.
Yes. So, you find your boats. Even if you used your own boats, like overland, it wouldn't be hideous to get back to East Haven. It was just easier to go across the lake. It's just a journey around the edge of the lake, really. hunters and things would come up this way. So, you take one of the boats, unload all of the valuables and things that were, anything that was useful inside, and set it adrift, rocking,
Cover it in oil.
bobbing slightly in the water, with Mockingbird's peaceful face. Not one that any of you are particularly used to, as it is in death his real face. And yes, Tom, you spray it with oil and gently push it away. Mami,
Now,
any last words?
You're a good friend, a good companion. You will be missed. And I just prepare my normal bow and arrow just to get ready to light it afire.
Okay. Tom?
Mommy. You know, I have magic. I can, like, just shoot it.
Don't you want to be more traditional?
Okay, that's probably a good idea. Okay, Mockingbird. It was... You were good. I know you didn't think you were good, but you were, so that counts for something, I think. Yeah. So all you got anything?
It was great knowing you for the time that I did, and I hope we can do more in your name. Good things, better things.
The boat slowly pushes away as Shadov puts in his words as well. Barkeep, another mead? we'll get to you in a moment, Shadov, don't you worry. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Icewind Dale, and the boat's swaying gently is pushed out from the ice at the edge of the lake. And Mame, you
And ask Tolan for a light.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Alright. And I prepare to shoot. Take it away, John.
Yep. You just pull back to your ear, wherever it is, tucked away in those feathers there, and everyone you just hear the creaking of the bow as Mami, almost reluctant to let the arrow fly and say a proper goodbye, a final goodbye, hesitates for a moment, but then there's a you see the little arc of flame go out over the water, reflected in the dark surface of the lake, and thud into the boat, dead center. And there's a moment when you wonder, but then with a woof, the flames rise up, quickly spreading across the surface of the rowboat, and the funeral pyre of Mockingbird burns bright in the darkness, a source of light, a source of brightness that maybe one day the three of you will be able to return to Icewind Dale as you battle against Auril and return the natural seasons to this land. And Tom, speaking of heating things and putting fires to things, there, you remember, is a large, very magical cauldron back in those caves.
Yeah, I do remember that. We're gonna take that.
A whole cauldron.
I mean, like, I barely feel cold. If it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of time. You know, it is what it is.
Okay. So, as the three of you slowly, one by one, take your eyes off Mockingbird for the last time and head back to the caverns. Inside. I guess I should turn off the Hag Whispers part, shouldn't I?
I should hope, unless there's more.
Aha! There was a cult. There was
Well,
a full
that
cavern.
coven came back.
2 more. No.
Hey, one went out into the night. Who knows where it went?
There you go.
That wisp.
Off you go, Hag Echoes. Yeah, the sisters were there, but just as were the wisps. Okay, so you do head back inside, and I'm going to double check if there's any other treasure to be had here. As I assume you have a good look around. Let's have a look here. Cauldron Caves. There was the Direwolf's Cave, the Water Weird, which you also released, which is a pain. Minor pain, because Tom couldn't drown. The Frost Giant Skeleton, nasty.
Well,
nasty.
while he looks at that, I'll explain. Toln is of course a robot. This water weird has basically one attack: grapple you, and try to drown you. So it grappled Toln, pulled him into the water, and he just went, "Oh no! Don't kill me like this!" While everybody else
Who
will.
will save me?
It could have killed him just because it was so cold, but it would not have drowned him.
True. Okay, so it does seem there's nothing else to be snagged in here, I'm afraid. She did have more treasure, but it was out in the lake, unfortunately. So, with a great deal of effort, you do manage to get the Cauldron of Plenty back to East Haven, and you have returned to East Haven now. Was there anything you were doing in East Haven before you left for Goodmeat?
Also was Dustbuckle. What was her name? Did she get back?
Yes, she was with you, so she wants to travel
Okay,
with you to Goodmeat. Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
Madam
checking.
Dustbuckle. Yes, yeah, I'd forgotten she was there actually.
We saved her
Disappeared.
from some goblins.
That's right. Yeah, the goblins had captured her,
I
hauling
had no
her off.
concerns for Madame Dustbuckle.
She's a
Not
badass.
because I disliked her, but because I knew she was made of sterner stuff.
Yep. All right. So, Tom, our friend and yours, new political ally, Speaker Daneth Whalen of East Haven, is very, very keen on this magical cauldron that you have discovered.
Well,
He
yeah,
offers you a great deal of money for it.
but I'm taking it back to Goodmeat to experiment on it.
He's like, but I've heard tell of these. This could feed so many people.
That's why I'm taking it to Goodmeat. Right?
Fair enough, but if times are hard, can we pay a visit?
Well,
I've heard-
yeah.
I've heard the magical
Obviously.
stew it makes is rather delicious.
Come by any time. Doors are open. We're all in it together. Just
I hope you are made the speaker, Tom. You'll be a good
me
ally to have in Goodmeat.
Me too. I hope I get made speaker quickly. And if I do, please come by for a beer and some stew.
Aye, we will.
It'll be on the house.
Then definitely. And you load up Madame Dustbuckle doesn't take up quite as much room as Mockingbird did, so there is room on the sled for this cauldron as you secure it, and the six-pack yipping and pulling at their harnesses are keen to send you on your way through the dark, billowing snows towards Goodmead once more. Where is it? Da-da-da-da-da. There we go. Six-pack. Chase. Our sled dogs are named after beers, so they became the six-pack. Very space.
I approve of this naming convention.
And
We still haven't named the other set of sled dogs. Just one set of them.
They side eye as you're like, on Tripoli Russell Imperial IPA, on Lager, on Bitter. You're like the reindeer. The other pack of dogs just side eyeing them. It's like, and are we gonna get named? No. Fair enough.
We could just do the apocalypse, right? Jose, Jack, Jim.
And your sleds slide off into the darkness, down the road towards the main thoroughfare that goes through 10 towns. Let us bring all of you fine people over to this map of ours that we have, this beautiful map. Boop. Preloaded, so it should pop in nice. Yes, thank you. Okay, here we are. So, you are not that large. It's like Attack on Titan style, like boom, boom, through Icewind Dale here. So yes, you make your way along the East Way, the main road between East Haven and the capital, Bryn Shander. And before you get there, you do get to that crossroads where northeast would take you back up to the Cares, but it is southwest that you are headed back towards Goodmead. But I'm sorry. Oh yes, Bon Jovi's in there. Don't worry. I jump ahead of myself. I'm sorry. As your dogs pull away and the sleds slide out of East Haven, we do linger on a scene there for just a moment as you, unaware, slide off into the night. And we see on the steps of the town hall Prudence, Mockingbird's Zentarim contact, spying for the Zentarim here in the town hall, stands, arms folded, with a scowl on her face at the lack of Mockingbird in your party. And before heading back to work, she takes an early lunch and briskly walks through the snow of East Haven to her house. A humble affair. But once inside, she scribbles a quick message and wraps it to one of the flying snakes given to her by her Zentarim captains, and sets it free into the blizzard-stricken air as a message flaps its way across Icewind Dale to her Zentarim higher-ups. Now, you do not see that happen. As you make good time, the dogs are well aware of this route now. They know it well. It's a well-travelled road, especially now that the mead deliveries have started flowing out of Goodmead throughout Icewind Dale a bit more regularly. The road you see is a bit packed down. Yeah, the snow is a bit more packed down and well-travelled here. Mame, you kind of scowl as you see several sets of axe-beak footprints. They're out there somewhere, waiting for you. But
I mean, they literally are waiting for us. It's just, it's in Bryn Shander.
yes, you do have axe beaks that you earned, but you've never claimed.
Oh, thank you.
Madame Dustbuckle's son is very happy. So I
We are-
don't have to reward them? Great.
We are the heroes of Eastern Icewind Dale.
Yes. Yes. The unknown west. Mysterious, dark place, including Soyala's hometown, actually. Was it Tourmaline? Soyala?
Oh my goodness. It's been
I
a
know,
while.
right? I know. What?
Lonelywood?
Lonelywood, sorry, Lonelywood. Yes, I was looking at the other map, so it's just off the top there. Lonelywood. There we go. All right. So, you see the familiar flickers of torchlight and hunched buildings that is Goodmead, with the large towering form, the Mead Hall, in the center of the village. And you gratefully slide on into town. Sorry, having just arrived on this beautiful map, let's go to another one. Hats off to them. They did their town maps and geographical maps very nicely, but their interiors on their buildings and dungeons and the like are... Okay, so here we are. You comes in from the north there, down, and you see the large form, windows blazing bright, the inviting warmth of the Mead Hall, and the promises of rest and relaxation after you are all pretty in bad shape after battling the hag. This is still the same day. You just left straight away. And you arrive back in Goodmead. Shadov. The journal that you found in your journeys far, far to the south suggested that your sister disappeared many years now, had headed north. Way, way to the north, up past Waterdeep, past all of the known cities of the Sword Coast, way up over the Spine of the World mountains to an area known as Icewind Dale. Now, for what reason? It seems that she is on the lookout, is searching for another group of drow. Drow similar to yourselves that were not tempted by the guile of Lolth, were not driven down into the Underdark to be subdued and subjected to her terrible ways. Another group of drow, and the name scribbled in the margin of that notebook. The Avon Drow. Rumored to be up here somewhere in the frozen north, beyond even this area of 10 towns, which is as far as you've gotten so far. Way, way up north. But you're not sure that she could have traveled by herself, as she seemed to be much beyond this area. Surely there's no way she could have gone up into the wilds, into the frozen north, without any shelter, any habitation to visit or stay at. And you promised yourself to give this area of 10 towns a thorough search before attempting any such madness yourself. And you heard an interesting tale. An interesting tale that one of these 10 towns was founded by Cheltons. And having had an interesting and wholly beneficial experience just off the coast of Chult, and having spent several 10-day in the cities on that jungle peninsula, you decided, for old time's sake, maybe raise a glass of mead for old Waku. You decided to make your way to this town, smaller though it was. But who knows where your sister had gotten to, it was worth checking. And as you arrived in town, you were amazed to see carvings of dinosaurs and tropical birds native to Chult adorning the pillars and walls of these strange tropical-looking, Chultan architecture buildings. But here, in the darkness, the never-ending darkness of Icewind Dale, a darkness that you've heard is created by a goddess, Oral, the Frostmaiden, goddess of winter's fury, who travels the skies, or so it is rumored, on a massive white bird, trailing her magic behind it in a massive aurora across the sky that keeps the sun beyond the horizon, out of Icewind Dale's sky, and plunges it into darkness for all time. And that part suddenly seems to be true. You have not seen the sun since you came north of the mountains. You are in the mead hall of Goodmead, talking with a character that you've become quite accustomed to and have chatted to quite a lot, who she also seems quite adept at finding people and knows all sorts of things going on in this area. As you find yourself chatting with, let me get the name here right again, it's been a long time, sorry, Hlyn Trollbane, a old female dwarf. She used to be a bounty hunter, but now she's retired and has taken up a position here as some kind of security advisor, law person here in the wilds of Icewind Dale, and is enjoying a very quiet life here, as not much happens here in Goodmead, except for when it does. So, she clunks a glass of mead against yours. And that is when I leapt up on its shoulders, put my middle fingers in its nostrils, yanked back, and slit its throat with my knife.
If I hadn't seen you in action, Truly, I'd swear you were full of shit.
All true, my friend. Now, how about you? You must have some stories.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, but long story short, I rescued a turtle god. Killed some acolytes.
Turtle god?
Yeah. I wish I could have shown you. It's huge. A veritable walking island.
Ah. I wonder if that's one of them dragon turtles. Sorry, Sarah, can you shift your camera a bit? You're right over on the edge. So you're hiding.
Slumping down.
So that's okay. You're hidden behind your art. I can put Ciala on the other side if you want. Out of the way, Tabaxi. There you go. Sorry, there you go. Sorry, Shadow. Yeah, that's. So, you are sharing war stories and tales and yarns and things with this interesting dwarf. As the door bangs open and the snow flurries in, but everyone knows not to sit at those two tables right next to the door. And you see three figures come stomping in, knocking the snow off their boots. Let's do a quick description here. What does Shadow see as the three of you come back in? Let's remind ourselves, as it's been quite some time. Mame?
You see a 4'5" female Gallus that's pretty bloodied up, and her once white cloak dyed in red and dirt and gunk. Just all in all, really tired and spit devastated, if you could have a devastated face on a chicken. And you just see like a bow on her back, and just wandering in really tiredly.
Thank you. Just showing the arts to everyone there as well. Fabulous as it is. And Shadov, strange thing. They look like they have some winter furs on, heavy winter clothing on. They've got this big fur ruff that goes around their chicken neck. But as they come into the bar, this ruff starts to move and unfurl. You see two grey wings spread out, and for all intents and purposes, what looks like a large cat, but with these two feathery wings on its back, slowly flaps across the room. Nobody bats an eyelid in here. And it just makes a beeline, if you'll excuse the phrase, direct for... Sorry, I just need to turn off these sled dogs, don't I? I just remembered. It makes a beeline straight for the fireplace, the big roaring fireplace, and settles in front of the flames. You see a couple of the locals give it scratches. And they're like, slobber chops, good to see you again. And Tom, please.
Toln walks in, and he is a metal man. When you see him for the first time, you assume like it's got to be just like plate mail. Then you take a little bit of closer look, and it's not ornate. There's not really the gaps that you'd expect from plate mail. It is kind of different shades, different kinds of metal, kind of like there was an emergency and they just kind of slapped with other metal they could find on there, with fur kind of poking out from underneath, where the metal comes together. In any gap, you can kind of see the fur poking out. And he's got a kind of permanent kind of smile on his face just from how the metal was put together. It looks like a smile when the kind of plate from his chin meets the plate from his nose and face. And he's got a bottle of some sort of concoction around his on his hip, hanging from something, and he comes off and just kind of brushes off the snow, looks at it. Oh, there's a new dent. I gotta look at that. Looked at. Mockingbird.
And anyway, people in chat there seeing the runes on the said jug. Those runes do read Goodmead. we found an alphabet, runic alphabet, to do that. And last but not least, Soyala, please.
So in walks a 6-foot tall, gray catfolk tabaxi, and she's got some dark stripes along her face and arms, and although most of it's covered right now with her cloak, she wears a satchel across and a medical apron, giving off the knowledge that she is a medic of some sort. And she has this strange 7-fingered claw upon her waist as well.
Indeed.
On her belt.
Thank
and
you.
She's also just kind of shaking off the snow off her paws and claws. And
Thank you very much, everyone. And the three of you, as you go into the room, as you pull back your hoods and everyone actually sees who it is, there is a welcome roar as the heroes of Goodmead have returned. And you, from somewhere in the shadows behind the bar, you hear Darkinios' voice. You have returned. Good, good. Tom, is everything within parameters?
Well, I think... Is this a new dent? Did I have this before?
Oh, goodness. Please, you must get into the workshop at once.
This must be a new dent. Everything seems to be okay.
And Shadov, you see this barman who you still haven't managed to get a proper good look at. He's been always like just off in the shadows behind the bar. Every time you went to get a drink and everything, he emerges for the first time into the torchlight and the firelight of the bar, and rushes over almost in a motherly way to Tom, and starts fussing over him and the dents and things that he's gained from this combat that you have not heard about. But yes, now. Soyala, being a very perceptive tabaxi, as you are, you notice that Hlyn, the dwarf head of security for Goodmead, who you have met before, is pointing at you and slapping some elf, very, very kind of dark-skinned, tan-looking elf. Not what you're used to. You've seen quite a few elves here in Icewind Dale, but they're usually much paler, much fairer skinned. You've never seen anyone like this before, and kind of slapping them on the shoulder and pointing over at you lot. Aye, that's them. You're asking about him?
Mame, do you know about who that person is?
No. Colin? Oh,
Well, I think they're going to be coming by real soon, because they got pointed at towards our way.
Shadov, what do you do?
Cautiously approach these very exotic-looking travelers and inquire as to if they've seen another drow like me.
Yeah, Hlyn had told you that these were wide-ranging folks, adventurers such as yourself, who have been all over Icewind Dale and may have seen something. So
Yeah, so I'll ask them if they've seen any other drow of darker complexions.
just straight out the gate, leading with that.
Well, I mean, maybe they should get a drink first. They seem kind of tired.
Yep.
I'm pretty beat up and ready to go to bed.
Yeah,
I still
hot
have
milk is calling me.
Hey. Oh,
Some-
man.
nice water, maybe a good potion for this gash on me.
Okay, well, maybe tomorrow.
What do they see as you stand and approach them?
Oh, maybe 6.5 foot tall, tan-skinned drow, wearing armor, decorated in what seems to be cat motifs. Very ferocious-looking cat motifs. Sword hanging at the waist. It's a seemingly very deadly-looking sword. And
With the same cat motif on the pommel.
yes, indeed. And I've got the what you call it, the samurai hairdo there. So
Top knots, yeah.
yeah, working that. Somewhat of a grimace, maybe. No, not a grimace. I'm entirely too inebriated for a grimace.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, Mame, this figure approaches.
My stature, and I'm like, this man in my mind, like this man is really like cats, just like or it's his deity. And I just do a quick look at Soyala, look at the motifs, look at Soyala, look at,
I kind of shake my head like, I don't know.
and then I look at Slapper
Soyala,
Chops.
do you want to make me a religion check,
Okay.
just in case?
And I say to this man, I haven't seen you around these parts. Are you new to Goodmead by
That's
chance?
a 5.
Is that a thing? Did
Yeah,
you get a hint?
Shadov, yeah. Are you new to Goodmead?
Yes, I'm currently on a quest, but you look like you could use a beverage. See a little bit of ketchup or blood, maybe, on your cloak.
it's mine and not mine. We've been through some stuff. Like my friend, he got his dents. Um,
Barkeep, a round of beers for the
uh,
bloody chicken, the cat, and the metal man.
The
we
Tom
don't drink.
lets out like a pained groan. Barkeep, you know that I'm not going to drink.
Uh,
I'll take his.
uh, uh, Also, my alcohol tolerance is very low because my liver is really small.
Yes,
And
chicken livers. I've heard of them.
Because she's a chicken.
Oh, why not? I'll drink one for our dear old friend.
you know what?
Dear
Brew
old
it.
friend.
So yeah.
Somber occasion.
A bit of
Mildly.
one.
You should all drink.
I'm
You
a
know,
robot.
Does the barkeep have oil?
I keep well oiled already. I wish.
What
He
happened in
may
your
not.
journeys?
I mean, he may not drink, but he sure does brew it well, or so I'm told.
Yeah, speaking of which, what are you drinking? Are you drinking the
Mystery
good mead?
cocktail. They gave me a mug and I didn't ask questions.
It is meat, yes. That's what
Oh, it's the good mead.
the good
What do you think?
meat. Capital
Do you
T.
like
Is
it?
there a bad mead?
Yeah. Um, they make that in Bryn Shander.
Let's avoid that place.
It's probably a good idea.
If you want mead from Tulm or mead from Calby Chips and no one else.
Yeah, don't go to Bryn Shander and you'll get the
Alright.
good stuff here.
Well, would you find characters sit with me at a nice quiet table here?
Sure. Do you mind trying something? I've been working on it for a couple of weeks.
I'm not sure I trust your
Tom?
taste buds, metal man.
Oh, you seem like the type that would enjoy it.
As long as there's no oil in it.
He gets out the drought liquor that they found.
I was
He's
just
been-
wondering.
And he's been trying to infuse into a beer.
The fire lichen whiskey.
Yeah, that he's been trying to infuse into his beer and make work.
You, Shadov, have never heard of this. This is a Uda Drau drink from the Underdark.
Oh. Is Tom gonna let me know this, or are we just gonna YOLO?
Oh, he's he's handing you like a mystery beverage.
Well, he said there was no oil, right?
There is absolutely no oil on this beverage.
Wow, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
The question is it good this time? Is this batch any good?
Shadov, how is it?
What was in this? You got a bit of a kick.
It's this drow fire liquor that I've been trying to get to work. I've been trying to make it work. It hasn't been working so far. Did it work this time?
I've never heard of fire liquor, but I can see why it's named so.
So it worked?
Yeah, let's say it worked.
Yeah, fucking did it.
He says in Dwarven.
Absolutely in Dwarven.
Okay.
I shake my head.
And Mama just takes a timid sip of. It has the meat come, by the way.
Yes.
Mama just I whisper to myself for Mockingbird, even though Mama's not much of a drinker, takes a sip, gets drunk right away. And I'm like, raise my mug. This is for Mockingbird, and take one more sip, and then I'm nearly passing out.
Noted.
To Mockingbird and Blue Jays
Mockingbird.
and doves.
Sure, why not?
They may be out there somewhere.
And crows. I like crows. They're pretty cool birds.
And crows. Good one, Metal Man.
Oh, you can call me Tone. What's your name?
Shadove.
Shadow.
Shaharia. Yes.
I'm not familiar with that kind of name.
From a little further south.
Why are you in Icewind Dale then? It's not many people come south.
Well, I found a journal. A relative may have written it. I'm just here to look for her. But that's a different story. What are you crazy people doing in this cursed land?
It's my home.
You
I don't
call
really
this
know.
dark place a home?
I mean, I'm a little further from it, but this is one stop along the way. Yes. It's not always been like this. The dark night. The long winter. It's
Is
beautiful.
there evil afoot?
Currently
Yes.
yet.
Well, being a paladin of vengeance sounds like there's work to do. Chicken, what brings you?
Mama just like puts her head back up, and I am here. I am from Wesleyan University. I came here on an archaeological expedition, but I got separated from my comrades. I've recently found a few of them, lost a few of them, but I need to find the rest. For the university!
That's right,
No.
for the university. Another one for the chicken.
Yes.
Actually, Mame, as you shout that out, your colleagues, if I can find their names, what were their names again? Danai and Laos emerge. They're like, oh, Professor, is that you?
You're here! I stumble out of my chair.
Professor, are you all right? Are you afflicted?
Yes,
What
I am
foul
afflicted.
humors have befetted? That's what I can't talk. Beset you.
Just a hag. And now the good mead has doing me in.
It's quite
Good mead.
Yeah, he's getting it. He's getting it. Guy's quick.
By the way, Shadove, I should warn you, the rather temptingly named Shrine of the Flaming Sword is a different flaming sword. Not.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like,
No, it's the different god. But I think in such a pantheonic world as this one, that respects would have been paid. As you went there, actually, you found it was abandoned. So,
No,
you.
I stumble
sorry.
with my friends. Sorry.
Is-
I'll just stumble up to my friends and just yell to Soyala and Ton. Well, nice meeting, and also nice meeting you, Dove Man. Shadow. I must to go take my rest.
take care of the chicken.
Yes, Mame, your colleagues, your colleagues do help you. Shadow, I think you would know humble folk. You've travelled quite far and wide now. You've been through several very large cities, so you know that she's a Gallus, which is the type of humble folk that she is. Excuse me.
Is that the name of chicken folk?
Yes, Gallus.
Gallus.
Mm-hmm.
Do cat people have a name?
Tabaxi.
Tabaxi. All right, so tabaxi and chicken.
I tried, guys. I tried. Okay. So, you are ensconced here, and you are brought a delicious meal, unless Tom wishes to try out his new toy.
We'll see it to make sure that it's not, cannibal meat first.
Okay, so you're going to give it a try?
Yeah.
All right. So, this cauldron, which is 4 feet wide, good, decent sized thing. You start tinkering about with it and figure out just what's going on here, and you use some of the apparatus that Darkinios has in his workshop and things, and you manage to figure out that. Let's see here. Yeah, you have a proper look at it for the first time. You see that embossed on the bulging sides there are images of satyrs and nymphs in repose, holding various ladles as if to serve up the good contents from within. Has a lid that is attached that you can knock on and off easily, and it's on little clawed feet that stop it tipping over. You figure out that if you fill it with water and stir it for a minute, the water will transform into a hearty hot stew.
So we'll fill it with water and
Yeah. Now, it's big enough to hold 30 gallons, and for each gallon, that produces stew for 4 people. So it can produce stew for 120 people.
does it need to be fresh water?
It doesn't say.
Well, I can produce 12 gallons of salt water just from my tub.
What
Oh,
about
yes,
snow?
Seasoning. Yeah, right. Plenty
Can
of
we
it.
put snow in there?
It would melt eventually if we took it inside.
After you experiment with it, handing out to everyone in the meat hall here, the staff are relieved that they're not on cooking duty, as everyone's intrigued to try out this magic stew. You realize through experimentation that whilst in the cauldron it remains hot the whole time, but once it's removed and placed in bowls and things, it naturally cools in a natural way, not quickly. And yeah, despite the hot contents, the outside of the cauldron is perfectly fine to touch.
Well, as speaker, I see no better way to attract tourism than to simply put the cauldron in the middle of the tavern and just let people freely use.
True.
The beer is the selling point, not the food.
And you will discover over the course of the future attempts and things, it works 3 times a day.
We've lost you. Wait, I'll discover what?
Did you cut out?
Oh, did I? Sorry. Is that going okay?
Yeah, it's
Hello?
fine now.
Okay. It works 3 times a day.
Okay. So we'll just make a ritual of it, like, the morning cauldroning, ding ding ding.
3 square meals a day.
Yup.
What was the what's the population of good meat? I wonder if this is enough just to feed the entire town. Might well be. It's a pretty small place.
You said it makes how many per?
It's enough for 120 people.
Boy.
120 per meal, yeah. Might.
Population of good meat 100.
There we go.
So we
Self-
feed,
100 children here.
we feed the entire city of Goodmead.
No more dangerous hunting, unless when they want to get furs and stuff. And I mean, I think people. I think you do have plenty left over for tourists and things to be able to
Any
people to come and
travelers.
visit, because people, even, despite the fact it is delicious, people would get sick of it. So they do start wanting to eat other things.
It's like the Roman bread dole, right? Like, it's there. You're technically entitled to it, but like, you don't gotta eat it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay. And I think whenever this election happens, everyone will just like raise up their stew bowls.
How do you vote? I vote the guy that brought all the food
And the mead. Yeah.
and
Right.
makes the mead.
Food and drink. Sorted.
If I could figure out just like a consistent heating, just like invent something that's just always hot.
Well, it is always toasty in here because of the bees. Yeah, they have to keep the bees warm.
There's the bees. Well, that's that's one thing, right? So we have to keep the bees warm. But if I could invent something to like make it always hot, so we don't have to keep the bees warm. It's
Well,
just
I
already
mean,
warm.
we had an access to that way back in the castle keep, but we left it down in the magma or whatever. That dragon's heart.
Magma's still there.
I have a flaming sword.
You do?
Yeah.
How'd you come up? How'd you come across that?
I got it from a cat.
You can't just leave us hanging there. You have to explain more.
Long story short.
Is that gonna be like a cat like I am, or a cat like slobber chops?
Not exactly a
or...
tabaxi. It's a cat up in the sky.
A flying cat?
One that's passed
Very
on.
vengeful cat. No, it's a god. It's on my armor. Maybe didn't see it. Anyway, it's enchanted.
I just thought you liked cats.
I don't hate cats. Oh shit.
To use the terms of the region, you are on very thin ice.
I've said too much.
Alrighty then.
Gonna need some more of that stew and another beer.
Oh yeah. Just Toln pulls out his jug and just pours some more good meat out for him. Here you go.
Some fancy magic metal man.
I know I think I said that before, but you can call me Toln.
You ever take off that armor, metal man?
Oh, it's him.
I'm just armor.
What?
I just love the intonation on that. It's so good. It's him.
Well, he's not a man. At least not flesh
was.
and blood. Yeah.
It's a woman.
Oh no, not that either. It's just he's just made of armor.
But-
Basically.
I think there's an expression for this. We best rip that band-aid off real quick. I died. I became a robot afterwards. I don't really understand. You probably don't have to understand either, but...
Darkinios sidles over. It's like, Tom, the phrase that we are hoping to make popular is Frostforged.
I'm a Frostforged.
Yes, yes.
So the metal man is a ghost.
I don't know if that's
A
what
bit.
All right.
It's not a common thing, despite maybe meeting him here.
Okay. And the tabaxi's from this land.
A couple of us, yeah, up north.
All right.
But the Gallus are not, as far as I know. We have dwarves.
I'm gonna have to parse this out when I'm sober.
Thankfully, no more Draugr, Underdark people.
There are other drow.
Draugr.
Draugr.
Drowgars?
They're...
You're dwarvish also.
Why didn't you just say that? I've seen a dwarf. There was one dwarf on the boat.
Clinton's like, hey, I'm right here. We were just talking for like 2 hours.
And that one, he can put the rum down, I tell you.
Thank you very much. You need to go to bed.
Sounds good, Dwarf.
Does he have a room? Is he gonna die?
It's a good question. I'll talk to you tomorrow, ghost man and cat person.
And
Good luck.
Shadov, you had already paid and stowed some of your gear in a room up above in the upper levels of the meat hall.
Now I will head back there.
Collapse. The soft droning of bees lulls you to sleep. So yeah,
Well,
Tom,
Tom,
my man.
yeah. Do you just plan to leave this cauldron here, though?
Yes, why not?
I was just wondering.
Should
What
I,
exactly should we do with the with Rix? I've been meaning to ask.
Oh,
See a little tentacle out of Soyala's backpack.
we should take him back.
That's what I was hoping to do, at least.
Yeah, I'm not really comfortable keeping him around.
He will get hungry, and that's not going to be a good thing. I've seen enough brains for a while.
Yeah, can't really eat our brain, or my brain at least.
Dawkins is like,
Wanna
oh,
Yeah.
Tom, would you like to look into the avenues of some sort of edible cerebral mechanism?
No, thank you. I think for asking, but
Very well.
definitely no.
And so, what is this about eating brains? Do I have to hide the professor away? He gestures towards the large brain floating in the jar. And Rix is just mewling from the back of your back. It's like,
Just push it down a little bit. Not now. Yeah, okay. I'm glad we're on the same page then.
Yeah, I didn't like him when we met him the first time.
poor little Rix.
But
I
you
know
Maki,
Mame has quite the charm to it.
I think Mame likes small, cute things.
She likes everything. Yeah, it's true.
All the while, Mom is just like snoozing away in the room that her colleague split. Oh, it doesn't pick up the audio. But snoozing away, and Mame went through a few death saves in the battle before this day, so he's crashed out, not hearing any of this.
That's it. I was trying to find our little friend here. Where are they?
We'll meet them again soon enough. So is that the plan, I guess, after this in the morning?
Don't
Head
see why
back
not.
over, I think they needed it quite urgently. The crystals, I mean.
Yeah, we basically have to leave immediately.
Okay, well,
Should keep an eye out for this other drow to help this poor lost guy.
lost guy.
Yeah, this poor drow that's
Yeah, Shadov,
Lost
here's the cat.
Oh, okay, him. Got it, okay. I was like, was there another person? Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what he's all about. Interesting. Cat,
interesting fella.
designs, yeah. Seems nice.
Yeah. Just called me Robot Man, or Metal Man a lot. Didn't like that, but I've been called worse. Been called worse
what?
before I became a robot.
Like short stuff?
Mostly alcoholic stuff.
Oh, okay. I mean, I get the same thing being, tabaxi, so
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
it.
Shadow, if you are in Roll20, here's what they're talking about.
See, it's cute.
Fuck is it? The little Cthulhu?
Basically.
It's
Squiddling. It's a gnome squiddling. It's a baby.
Oh, that is disturbing.
See? I agree.
I think-
Show's gonna fit in fine.
Oh no, Carl's gone. He can't agree with me. Damn it,
Oh.
I'm outnumbered. Okay, that thing is no.
You
This
don't like,
baby, yes.
don't like the parents. Okay.
No.
That's what it's gonna grow up to be.
We don't even know their aging rate. They could be that.
This
They could be
version
an
is more
adult very
palatable.
quickly. I don't know.
I don't know how squid demons age either. Octopus demon?
Anyways, I think I'm gonna head to bed. I think, yeah, we got an early morning. We gotta get going on, and so I know you don't sleep, but take care.
Dorkinius probably wants to do some routine tests or whatever.
It's over in the corner with a
Don't let him
spanner.
get too carried away, and I'm gonna head upstairs and go to sleep.
Okay.
Dorkinius is probably like breathing heavily at the mere thought of making upgrades.
He does look quite stressed, but as you head over, he says, have the other ones retired for the night?
I think so. They're gone. They went upstairs.
Very well. Bad news, I'm afraid, Tom.
Oh no. It's not what I wanted to hear.
You remember I told you of a laboratory where you were created?
Your old compatriot?
No, not the one up in the mountains. No. No. That was an evil place. Strange
Okay.
experimentations. No. The one that I set up with my colleagues from the Dwarven Valley.
Yes, I remember that.
South from here, in the mountain's edge.
Mm-hmm.
I had grown concerned that there had been no word from my colleagues there. I am admittedly far away here at the research station we have set up, but usually they would check in fairly regularly. But after a while of no contacts, I was beginning to worry. And then my fears were confirmed. Just
Oh, dear.
yesterday, a strange woman, shoe in descent, arrived, full of expectation, as if waiting for something to happen. And then it did. One of the guards, the dwarven guards from the Dwarven Valley, that is protecting the laboratory arrived in terrible shape, terribly wounded. I was meaning to ask your friend, Soyala, to look at them, but they looked like they needed their rest.
Did they say anything?
The shoe lady said that we were to wait for you.
Me?
The three of you.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense, but
I was terrified. I thought something had happened to you. She wouldn't elaborate who was coming. When she said the three of you, I was like, which of them? Who is it who is not returning? But she said she did not know. She knew that only three of you were coming. She is a strange one. She has powers of divination or something.
I see. Well, where is she now?
In one of the rooms. With the guard.
No. I
Emilia.
don't like
Emilia was in a terrible way. Some awful creatures have attacked the laboratory and the architectural, sorry, the archaeological site that is surrounding it. Who's that?
archaeology.
There's a flurry of wings and a clutter of Gallus feet on the stairs.
Suddenly she's so- I heard the words, the magic words. Archaeology.
Archaeological site? What? Sorry, I'm still crashed out. I'm terribly wounded.
No worries. That's right. you have your chance. Yes. Something to do with the site. I don't know the details, I'm afraid. Maybe Emilia is feeling more lucid. Would you come with us?
Now?
She's just upstairs.
Okay, I suppose.
Unless you wish to wait for everyone. Nothing can be done until tomorrow anyway.
We have something we need to do tomorrow. I suppose we should do it now. Let's go.
Okay. And Darkinius leads you up to a decent-sized candlelit bedroom up in the upper layers of the meat hall. The warmth radiating from the potbelly stove in the corner holds back the cold from the snowy weather that you can hear howling outside. Your nostrils catch a strange, tangy smell of some kind of medicinal herbs. And tracing the odor to its source, you become aware of a female dwarf lying injured in the large bed. And at the bedside sits this shoe woman. Her elegant robes adorned with crane motifs and a gold trim. And on her shoulders there is a golden pseudo-dragon with milky white eyes, lazily swinging its tail. When the woman sees you, she stands, inviting you to approach the bed with a calculated gesture of her hand. Greetings, adventurers. We have quite a bit to discuss.
Yeah, he reiterates what he muttered under, yeah, but adventurers, right now it's just me. It's one.
John misspoke.
Toln is incredibly awkward. So you, I don't really consider myself an adventurer, but I guess. And what do you need? What?
You and your companions, as well as our newly arrived friends. You are traveling south, are you not? You have a delivery.
I guess, yeah.
That journey will take you close to your creator's laboratory. His colleagues find themselves in a rather perilous predicament. I hope you are there in time to prevent the hideous, bloody aftermath that will surely be incurred if there is too much delay. The aftermath.
Do we have time to sleep?
If you must. I suppose there is always a certain cost to these things.
Tom looks back to Darkinius. Looks back.
I do not know, my friend. I'm feeling out-creeped. Out-creeped.
Yeah, it feels quite weird. This is awkward. More awkward than normal.
Come, dear, sit. Have some tea. Maybe a cookie?
I don't eat or drink.
All the more for me.
Who's this dwarf?
This is Amelia Marblehead, one of the guards.
How did she get here? Is she okay? Is she going to survive?
Yes. But
So all of
the question
one of
is, will her father and friends survive?
That's a good question. Will her father and friends survive?
That is up to you. I, of course, know why you're here, but do you?
Looks at Darkinius again. This is fucking creepy, man.
Sit. If you're not going to drink and eat, at least take the weight off them.
He'll sit down. Very cautiously.
Now. She very primly seats herself back on the chair. The pseudo-dragon's milky white eyes just focus on you. My name is Sia.
Seer?
It's very on the nose.
I was gonna say. I'm glad you said it first.
It is a title more than a name. My name is... not important.
Is his name Blind Pseudo Dragon?
No.
Weird laugh.
I am a representative of interested parties in the region to see that balance is maintained. What are your thoughts on the Lord's Alliance?
The Lord's Alliance?
Yes.
Is this something that I've forgotten?
Yes. Excuse me. You would be aware of the Lord's Alliance, yes. It's the group of the major city-states up and down the Sword Coast that work together to maintain security and, that stuff going.
Well,
Cheers, Rich.
as an aspiring speaker, I think it's a good thing. I think it's nice. I think we should keep doing it. Make it stronger.
Yes, yes. Stronger indeed. Now. She just seems to focus on something over your shoulder for a moment.
Huh?
She comes back. Oh, yes, don't worry. I will tell your friends as well. Of course.
Right. Did you see something? Did you see something?
No, your friends after their rest. You are all needed together.
What were you looking at? Was like my fire phalange up? It didn't look like the thing came up. Sometimes it pops up on its own, but like.
It is quite fine, I assure you.
Okay.
Now.
I'm not the person for this one.
Sorry, double check what our friend just got out here. I've heard interesting things about this laboratory. Its initial architects and things found. Isn't that right, Darkinius? He's like, but I hadn't told you in it.
It's the dragon. It's the pseudo dragon. Right? Like that's the. Am I right? Is it the pseudo dragon? Is that the site? You get it from your friend?
Never mind. A lady doesn't
right.
share all of her secrets.
I got it,
Especially
Darkinius. Amandor.
the Lord's Alliance head of intelligence.
Oh. It's making more sense now. Okay. It's all coming together.
Splendid. I'm glad we are on the same page. I would have settled for the same book.
That one actually was pretty funny. So,
Yes.
who's attacking this laboratory?
You hear a voice weakly rise up from the bed. There's precious little time to waste. My father and friends are in danger. Please, help them. And the dwarf stirs, painfully props up on one elbow. I am with the Frostmaiden platoon. We were guarding the laboratory, as we always have. It was almost time for us to go back to the Dwarven Valley. Almost time for us to be relieved, and that's when we were set upon by augurs.
Augurs?
Augurs. Massive, big brutes with clubs and daggers and the like. We were cut off from escape and forced to retreat back to the laboratory, deep in the mountains there. But at least it's defensible. And we give them up. And we give them what for? There's a choke point right at the entrance to to the laboratory's entranceway. It's choked with ogre corpses now. We held our ground for 3 days. But it was on the evening of the 3rd day that the ogre's leader, he started to taunt us, shouting out about some reinforcements they had coming. Talk of giants. Giants on the way to help them. Due to arrive in a couple of days. That's when we had to act. We had to get help. So, a mate of mine, Peril Lodwick, we volunteered. We're gonna sneak out and sneak our way past the ogre camp. Yeah, we thought we could use the darkness. We'd be able to get by without them seeing, but unfortunately we were discovered. The ogres chased us. Along the valley they were catching up with us, massive long loping strides. They were gonna get us. But then that's when Peril sent me on ahead. Said he had a plan. I was to make as much ground as I could. I did it as he suggested. He's always the smart one, always had the ideas. And that's when I heard the concussion blast. And I turned, but it was too late. Peril triggered an avalanche. And it came swooping down. Buried the bloody lot of them. And Peril too. He sacrificed himself so that I could escape, that I could get help from you lot. Here. Sia tells me you're the ones that will help. You're the ones that will go and save my father and the others. Their supplies are running low. If they don't get any aid in the next couple of days, and if those giants are real, if they're really on the way, it's only a matter of time until they're overrun. It's only... And Sia dashes to her side. There. Amelia, do not exert yourself. You don't want to bust a vital organ.
I did think that was a good time to laugh, but...
She makes this dwarf comfortable, and you see Amelia just exhaustedly collapses back on the pillows and succumbs to unconsciousness again. Now, Tom. She has the right of it. They are in desperate need. And it would be a terrible shame to lose all of Darkinius's advances, all the research his friends have made. Wouldn't you say, Darkinius? Yes, we cannot lose everything that we've progressed.
Oh, absolutely not.
We promised to help others, didn't we? We need that technology.
We'll be going. Absolutely.
And as you turn back to the bed, suddenly Sia is right in front of you. You didn't hear her move across the floor. And the pseudo-dragon's eyes hovering on that long neck, waving slowly in front of you.
We lost
the eyes, the milky eyes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the Seer's dragon.
Yeah, the Seer's dragon's eyes, like, moving around on that head of its, just making unerring, unswathing eye contact with you. And There is something else.
Okay.
Frostforged.
What?
Darkinios' colleagues discovered something else there, in the archaeological ruins around the laboratory. There is an artifact. A glyph-covered stone tablet. We've discovered some of its meaning, but it needs further research. And you are going to bring it back to me. Do you understand?
I guess? Like, if it's for the good of 10 towns, which it seems it is.
Of course it is.
Can we make an
Always.
insight check?
Yes, of course. You have advantage if you wish to use it, thanks to chat.
I will not be using it on this.
Shadov, you got advantage as well.
I got a
Inspiration.
4.
Okay, she seems legit.
She sure does. Yeah, if it's for the good of the 10 towns, then sure, why not?
I'm glad you understand. We have discovered a few things already. Go with this information. For knowledge. Knowledge is truly the greatest weapon, wouldn't you say?
Have you spoken with Mame? I think she would agree. She seems like the type.
She would, yes. In many ways, she already has.
You said that we should bring the new guy?
Yes. May his sword light your way, and his thirst for vengeance protects those you would seek to protect. Now,
Okay.
this place. Listen carefully. It is a holy site. Birthright stones, they call it. The burial ground of 3 giants. Their identities we do not know. Lost to time. But this tablet that was discovered there has some knowledge of rune magic. Until now, only accessible to the giants and their like. Should it fall into the wrong hands, Tom? Very bad news. Very bad news.
I was already gonna do it, but that is further incentive, I suppose.
Indeed. Once you are rested and your friends are rested too, make the journey. Save the researchers, I suppose. But
It is high priority.
retrieve the tablet. At all costs. And you shall be handsomely rewarded, of course.
Okay.
Blind pseudo-dragon, show him.
I knew it!
That's not his real name.
It's now.
It leaps off her shoulder and drags out from under the bed a very large, clinking sack of what is clearly a bunch of coin. And as you meet with Seer, as the rest of you are resting already, ready to awaken the next day, healed, and ready to face whatever lies down at the laboratory, and revisiting the Illithid spaceship, the Spelljammer, crashed in the mountains. You will see just what lies in store as we return next week. And we will leave things there. Thank you, everybody. A wonderful, wonderful thing to have you all back there. Sorry, lots of exposition there to get through. But get us rolling. It is wonderful to see you all again. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's been a good crowd in tonight, as there was in the meat hall as well. But always wonderful to see you all. Do join us again Wednesday or Thursday, depending where you are, for Out of the Abyss. And then later on Thursday for the finale of Curse of Strahd this week. It's going to be an incredible session. Do not miss it. Then on Saturday we have Candlekeep Mysteries once more. And that will bring us all the way back round to Icewind Dale once more next Tuesday. A huge thank you to everyone. Stick around for the raid, and we will send this love on and see what is happening out there in the Twitchverse. But we cannot wait to see you all once more. Until then, as we like to say around these parts, Oyasumi Nasai. Bye!
Oh, yes, me.
Adios.